is you go to the ATM and take out $3,000 yourself.
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
All they need us to do is to believe that their money, printed out of thin air, have a value, so they can buy whatever they want. It's fake money. There's nothing behind it.
I don't believe that we should ever have a good money again before we take the thing out of the hands of government, because we can't take them violently out of the hands of government. All we can do is, by some sly roundabout way, introduce something that cuts them.
Tonight we celebrate the revolution, a technology born out of a desire for freedom and self-sovereignty. It's more than just code, it's hope. Hope for a world where money is free from control, where trust is built into the system, and where people everywhere can take back control of their financial future. Look up as we light up the sky with the story of the journey that has only just begun.
Bitcoin is a swarm of cyber hornets, serving the goddess of wisdom, feeding on the fire of truth, exponentially growing ever smarter, faster, and stronger behind a wall of encrypted energy.
Bitcoin has come a long way, but let's take it back to where it all began. Born from the 2008 financial crisis, a spark of hope in uncertain times.
In October of 2008, a paper was published called Bitcoin, and that paper explained how the system works. And it was published under a name of Satoshi Nakamoto, and we now know that this is not a real name. We don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, or they are. So somebody out there on the internet came up with an idea of how to build a digital currency, and they published the paper in October 2008. Now, they had also written a prototype software program that ran the Bitcoin software, which they launched on January 3rd, 2009, so just a few months later. And that was the beginning of the Bitcoin system. It was the beginning of the Bitcoin network. It was the beginning of the Bitcoin currency. So this sounds like a weird story, right? Some person, we don't know who it is, shows up on the internet, posts a paper, launches some software, some other people run the software as well, and this thing starts running. Embedded within the very first block that was created on the Bitcoin blockchain, there's a message. And this message was handcrafted into the Bitcoin software, and it was embedded in there for a reason.
Transmorals bring up second bailout for banks.
I can, for the first time, digitally move $1 million from here to the year 2140. That is a remarkable accomplishment, and it uses proof of work, 10-minute block times, distributed consensus, a distributed network, a fixed supply, and known issuance policy to achieve that.
My name is Hal, and I'm making this recording for a few reasons. Mostly because I want people in the future to be able to hear my voice and maybe something of my story.
On January 12th, 2009, the day of the first Bitcoin transaction, Satoshi Nakamoto sent 10 Bitcoins to Hal Finney. This wasn't just a transfer of value. It was the birth of a new financial system. With that simple transaction, Bitcoin moved from an idea to reality, proving that money could be exchanged without banks, governments, or middlemen. That first transaction wasn't just history, it was the beginning of a revolution. A revolution that continues to challenge the way we think about trust, freedom, and the very nature of money.
How did you get this idea to trade Bitcoin?
I just honestly thought it would be really cool if I could say, hey, I just created this, open source internet money for a real world good. And I thought, what better thing than food? Food is a basic necessity. And, pizza, every geek understands pizza.
From the first test transaction to reality, Bitcoin's journey took a crucial leap on May 22nd, 2010. On that day, something extraordinary happened. Bitcoin was used to make its first real-world purchase. What was it? Pizza. Laszlo Hanyecz spent 10,000 Bitcoins to buy 2 pizzas, proving that this decentralized currency could move beyond the digital and into our daily lives. It wasn't just about food, it was about a vision becoming reality. That single transaction showed the world that Bitcoin could be more than an idea. It could be a revolution. And from that moment, Bitcoin's story shifted. What started with 2 pizzas has turned into a global movement, where Bitcoin now powers the future of money. After Pizza Day, Bitcoin transformed from a curious experiment into a global phenomenon. It became a lifeline for organizations like WikiLeaks, allowing them to operate when cut off from traditional financial systems. In oppressive regimes, Bitcoin offered a way for people to escape inflation and reclaim financial sovereignty. Despite relentless attacks, both technical and political, Bitcoin endured, rising in price and adoption.
Bitcoin has achieved a level of computing that no single nation state can overthrow it through computation alone. The effort to do so would require a massive covert operation of chip fabrication, then the coordinated assault that would give them dominance over the next block for 10 minutes until we kick those bastards off the network.
Despite relentless attacks, both technical and political, Bitcoin endured, rising in price and adoption. Today, hundreds of millions use Bitcoin, many for whom banking was out of reach. More than just money, Bitcoin is a tool for freedom, the freedom to transact and the promise of a true global currency.
Can change things. Bitcoiners kind of understand that Bitcoin makes people better. It brings out the best in them, their best qualities, and they strive to be better people. And I think it's the same. Ultimately, governments are made up of people. If we can get them to understand Bitcoin, we can infuse them with that Bitcoin ethos, and maybe we can make governments better.
In El Salvador, we are trying to rescue this idea and start the design of a country for the future, using the best ingredients that makes us who we are, while using sensibility to find the best examples of ideas from history and around the world. I believe Bitcoin could be one of these ideas. That is why next week, I will send to Congress a bill that will make Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador.
The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever more.
Bitcoin is the safest currency, is the most resilient currency in the world, is the only currency that is resistant to censorship, and is the only currency that is for everyone and not controlled by anyone.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset, it's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay?
Imagine everything there is and everything that ever will be divided by 21 million.
And so, we come to the end of our journey through the remarkable tale of Bitcoin. A story that began with an idea to redefine the way we think about money, trust, and the very fabric of our financial system. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and remember,
There is Bitcoin and there is everything else.
We are all Satoshi,
greatest industries on earth. Good luck and God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you.